Everybody wants to talk like this walk with Christ is easy. Everybody wants to make it seem like the moment you give your life to Christ, your life instantly gets better, and that all your dreams will get true. He's like a genie, right? You have somebody right there who loves you, who cares about you, and he's gonna grant all your wishes. That's the thing that everybody wants you to hear, right? That's what they'll tell you at church. That's what they tell you. That's what you'll hear pastors say. That's what you'll hear people say on YouTube. And to tell you the truth, bro, the moment you decide to follow Christ, it's one of the hardest decisions you'll ever have to make. For me, it was the hardest thing ever since I started following him. Ever since I started following him, I've received the most difficulty in my life that I've ever had before. I've been put through the most fire that I've ever been put through before. And I couldn't be more grateful for it. I couldn't be more grateful for it because time and time again, Paul in the New Testament writes, he rejoices in his suffering. He rejoices in his suffering because he knows that there's something bigger ahead. The Gospel of James, James talks about how we rejoice through trials, we rejoice in tribulations because we know it is building us into the man that God has called us to be. He knows that it's building perseverance. And when times get tough, we have more perseverance to go throughout this whole battle. Bruh, as soon as I give my life to Christ, right? Literally, once I started taking him seriously, like a month later, I end up losing a relationship that I've been in for the past 2.5 years before that. 2.5 years, and it's been 7 months since we broke up. We broke up in January, and to be fair, I still feel that to this day. I still feel that hurt. I still feel that miss, and I still wish I could have done things differently. But I know it had to happen. I know it had to happen, bro. There's a whole story behind that too. But I'm not going to get into that in that video. Just know that it was divine. I know for 100% fact that that was God who did that. That was God who ended that. I did not have the strength to end that on my own. Even though I knew it was probably time, I did not have the strength to end it on my own. But God helped get me out of that. Right? And as much as I want to go back, I do want to go back, man. And today I was literally in tears because I missed it, bro. I literally missed it. I missed everything that I had at one point, right? Look back to a year ago. I was with her. It was a beautiful relationship, man. I loved it. I loved it. I always think back to those moments. But now I think about today, man, and I just wish I had it back. Wish I had it back, but the way things are looking right now, I might not even see her again. But I had to come to peace with that. Just knowing that it's all a part of God's purpose. It's all a part of God's plan. Whatever God has aligned for me is the best move for me. And that even though I think in my mind it should be this way, God knows what's better. God sees conversations that I don't see. He hears things that I don't hear. He hears prayers that I don't hear. Man, and at the end of the day, he knows the plans that he has for me. And in order to become one of his biggest soldiers, in order to lead so many people and bring them to the kingdom, I have to go through so many difficulty, right? I'm just sharing my own testimony. But you think of any superhero movie, they all go through some type of struggle. I was watching Spider-Man Far From Home yesterday. No, not Far From Home. Yeah, Far From Home yesterday, the most recent one. And you see the pain through all three Peter Parkers, right? All three of them, they're heroes, right? They're loved and admired by everybody else. Personally, they've been through some of the hardest struggles. They've been through it. Man, like Andrew Garfield, his version of Spider-Man, he had to witness Gwen fall, and he couldn't save her. The woman that he loved, he had to witness her fall, and he couldn't save her. So when he has the opportunity to do it again, he's able to make the most out of it. When he's able to go and save this new version of MJ, he's able to go and make the most out of that opportunity, man. And you can see it in his eyes how much it meant to him because of how much he had been hurt in the past, right? It meant so much to him, just considering the pain that he went through. You look at Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. He lost Uncle Ben. Freaking MJ was a horror throughout all the movies, bro. Like, she was switching between Peter, Harry, and, bro, like, she didn't even know who she wanted. Peter put up with that. He was about to go marry this girl. He was about to marry her. Had the whole setup and everything. She had the French guy freaking put the ring in the champagne bottle. What happened? The whole thing goes wrong. Whole thing goes wrong. They end up breaking up. And, bro, he ends up turning into a black suit of Spider-Man. But at the end of the movie, bro, he ends up saving her life. He ends up saving the lives of many. And that's what heroes are about, right? You ask God to build you. You ask God to develop you, right? Be careful with what you pray to God about. Be careful. Because if you pray to have a bunch of money, if you pray to have influence, if you pray to have, if you pray to lead people, right? If you pray to be somebody in this life, it's going to come with trials. It's going to come with temptation. It's going to come with difficulty. It's going to come with breaking your flesh every single day. Because you know the impact that he's going to have is so much bigger, right? God, if you ask for strength, it's not like he could just zap strength into you, right? He puts things in your way that make you stronger, right? I pray to God all the time to build me into a leader. I pray to him to have my life break through in a way that it hasn't seen before, right? And as soon as I kept praying that, man, that's when I noticed everything starting to change. And I had to take the leap of faith and have that trust in me, knowing that it was the right path for me. He could have done it sooner. He really could have done it sooner, but I wasn't ready for it at the time. I was still enjoying my fleshly desires, right? And if he would have removed those things from me earlier, I don't think I would have been able to handle it. I would have been able to turn to Christ the way that I did. I wouldn't have been so rooted in my faith. I wouldn't have had that deep trust. I probably would have ran back to what I was doing before and never learned the lesson that I was supposed to learn from it. But God's timing is so perfect. God's timing is so perfect, and you just got to trust and know that everything that he has set for you is the right path for you. And every single thing that you ask for, he's given it to you. Jesus says, if you have faith and no doubt, you can tell this mountain to go and toss yourself into the sea and it'll be done. Metaphorically, what mountains are there in your life that you need to get moved, that you're asking to get removed? Right? It says, Mark, you can look this up, Mark 11 says, believe and act as if you have already received it, and you will receive what you ask for, right? You'll see this before. You'll see this from athletes. You'll see this from all types of people, right? I've been watching through Ilia Topuria. I know he just lost at the White House, but he's a UFC fighter, double champ. Conor McGregor, he was a double champ. And the thing about them is they always believed it. Ilia Topuria specifically, he says, everybody else, they got to see things to believe it. He always believed it first, and then he saw it in the physical, right? Ilya is a perfect example of a man who had unwavering faith and acted as if he already had it. You see his celebrations, he's already putting 17-0 in his bio, putting UFC champ in his bio. And what happened? He made it happen. Right? The thing is, though, is that people pray for these things and they're not aware of what God is putting them through. They're not aware that God is answering their prayers. But if God were to bless you with everything that you wanted right now, you would not be able to handle it. You would not be able to handle it. If God blessed you with the woman of your dreams right now, perfect woman, everything you ever wanted, right? The exact race you wanted, genetics that you wanted, everything, right? Physically, spiritually, she's rooted in her faith, right? She's rooted in Christ. Spiritually, mentally, she's not crazy, right? That's a lot to ask for in a woman nowadays, just not be crazy. Mentally, she's not that, right? She actually brings you peace. She has all these different qualities, right? Would you be able to lead her effectively? Would you be able to not lead her into sin? Would you be able to guide her and protect her? Are you that man right now? Because if not, then how could God bless you with it if you wouldn't be able to handle it, right? So before God goes ahead and adds these things into your life, he puts you through the fire, right? Before a sword can be used in battle, it's got to be forged through the fire. It's got to be sharpened. It's got to be forged and strengthened through small, like excruciating heat. Get forged. Gets forged. And it's so difficult, man. It's so difficult. My flesh cries every day. My flesh literally wants crucified every day. And sometimes my flesh wins. I can't lie. Sometimes my flesh does get the better of me. It does. I'm not perfect. But I've learned how to not let it affect me. I've learned how to get back up whenever my flesh does overcome me. I've learned how to go stronger after this, right? How to not fall into self-condemnation, but to actually run back to God and realize that I need a Savior and have Him pick me back up. Man, and this fire is one of the most beautiful things that you can go through. One of the most beautiful things that you can go through. But this is where so many people give up. Because when, all right, the devil's trying to stop this message from going through because my iPhone storage died twice, even after I deleted stuff. But that's not stopping me from delivering this message. But this is where so many people give up, right? So many people give up because they want the blessing without the work that comes with it, right? They want the blessing. They want the end result without the forging that goes with it. They want to become the sword without being that block of iron, right? Just a regular block of iron, without getting put through that fire, molded and melted, and just excruciating heat and pressure going through on you. They don't want that part. They don't want that refining heat, that refining process that God uses to build you up into a warrior, a valiant warrior. Right? They only want to be the sword, right? They want to just poop that pop out on one end. Oh, shoot. There you go. I'm a sword. I'm ready, God. Go ahead and use me. Nah. You got to be forged. Got to be forged into it, man. And some people, they go through difficulty early, and they let that build them into the man they called them to be. Other people, if you're not ready for it, if you don't have the right perspective, that you see these difficulties, you see these hard times, and you think to yourself, like, why me, right? You start thinking and you start perceiving things the wrong way, and you never make the most out of that difficulty. But if you're aware of it, if you're aware of the difficult moments and you allow God to use that to forge you and build you, then I have no doubt in my mind that along with perseverance, right, if you keep on going through it for long enough, God's creation will be revealed in a way that you would never even expect, right? I just turned 23, and like I said, the whole past year has been a lot of forging, right? A lot of molding in the heat, excruciating heat. My flesh cries and my flesh doesn't want to do it, but it's what needs to be done. And I rejoice in my suffering, and I rejoice through trials, and I rejoice through temptations, even though it sucks so bad, man. But I have full confidence knowing that the end result's going to be so much better. And if you're going through something right now, if you're going through something and it feels like, God, I was praying for something else, just know that this is exactly what you're praying for. You prayed to be built into someone of importance. This is what it looks like. You ask God into building you into somebody who could handle a 6-figure business. Well, He's going to have to take away some things that are going to hold you back from it. You're going to have to learn some lessons that you would have to learn before you could run that 6-figure business. You're going to have to learn things that you need to learn before you can make it to that point, right? You want to have a God-fearing wife, you need to learn how to become the man who could take care of her, who could lead her, who could guide her, who could protect her. That's one thing that people don't take enough look into, right? Oh my goodness, I stumbled over my words, but that's the thing that most people don't look enough into, is being a protector for their woman, right? I see it so much among Christian men. It's like, oh yeah, Christ already dealt with all the shame that I have. I don't need to be built to become that, what's it called? Oh yeah, people could find a wife even though they're like 300 pounds. Like, I don't need to be like that. Do you think your wife deserves that? Do you think the perfect woman, do you think God would send you the perfect woman if He couldn't protect her? Nah, man. Do you think your wife deserves that? Do you think your wife deserves a man who can't protect her? Do you think your wife deserves a man who doesn't look good, who doesn't steward his body, who doesn't protect himself? Tired of people trying to cope with that, man. Tired of people trying to cope, saying like, oh yeah, you could do it without it. Bro, you may be able to, but it's not going to be what you want. And trust the forging process, trust the iron, trust everything, and watch you get revealed throughout the end of it, man. I love each and every one of y'all. Let's make the most out of this, man. Don't pull yourself from the fire early, man. Go through it and let God's creation be revealed in you. Take care. God bless.